We're back with some more Witch of the Holy Night. Yeah, last week, while I was trying to do the recording, the stream connection fucked up. Yesterday it got messed up too. That was annoying as hell. I think it was justified to crash out. But yeah, no. The last two parts, they were in the middle of a daily night patrol and someone trespassed the bounded field, apparently. Oh boy. So, Aoka was still in the middle of the investigation and whatnot. I mean, honestly, there is a lot of questions involved, but there's also still the task at hand of being being the hair of the magic thing and whatnot. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. The following day was a typically overcast one. The day's classes ended as they had started, uneventfully. Oh, wow. Don't you love it when things get uneventful? Gotta love that. Winter break was just around the corner, and with it, final exams. Although Mizaki High prided itself on discipline, it was still a private school which promoted a culture of independence among its students. Industrious students had a place to explore that side of themselves under the guardianship of the student council president. More easygoing students could spend their time after school as they wished, as long as they were mindful of personal responsibility. The fact that the poster boy of independence was the student council vice president indicated just how vast the spectrum was. Spectrum.
Aozaki, iru ga?
Gotta love that. Gotta love when she makes that face. Tobimaru to Tsukiji threw open the door to the satellite student council room, their rumored location for their secret meetings. What do you mean by rumored? What are they trying to stick their nose out? Despite all appearances, he was the student council vice president, who also happened to be the poor soul responsible for executing the student council's dirty work. Oh yeah. She's like, man, why do I gotta see your fucking face? One person was waiting for him in the cramped room. The student council president, Aoko Ozaki, sat imperiously in a folding chair, glaring at Tomimaru in his boisterous entrance. Look at him.
相変わらず寒いなこの部屋。なあ、今度ストーブ購入しようぜ。
I mean, y'all have a coat? What the hell are y'all on about? Heaters for pussies. Excuse me. So, as not to succumb to Aoko's oppressive silence, Tobimaru opened with some casual small talk.
お疲れ様。ところであんた、何しに来たのか分かってる？
I don't know.
まあな。ただ、事務的に話すのって寒いじゃねえか。少しぐらい世間話でもしねえとつまらねえだろ。
Tobimaru closed the door and sat down across from Aoko. He was holding a blue envelope.
こういう時は無駄口は叩かない方がいいわよ。なんとなくプロっぽいでしょ。
Oh, thanks for the advice.
なる。いや。
Wait. Tobimaru was halfway to agreeing with Aoko before he caught himself and began to shake his head. As much as Tobimaru enjoyed the lack of red tape in his new line of work, he was not ready to turn full spy on his first day on the job.
それで調べ終わったの？
ああ、ついさっき最後の聴取を済ませてきた。詳しいことはその封筒に入ってる。お前から渡された例のファイルもそんなか。
He tossed the envelope onto the table.
そう。
Aoko picked it up and began to scan through the documents that were inside. She entered her own little world, not sparing the slightest bit of attention for Tobimaru. If ignoring other people were a skill, she would be a master at it.
なあ。
This is already awkward and enough. This is why schoolmates are just treated as schoolmates and not or coworkers, or however we found that is. That's one way to call it.
何？
一つ聞きたいんだけどよ。
Hey, I just want to ask one thing, if you don't mind.
だから何？
The room was filled with a chilling silence. Aoko continued reading without an ounce of emotion upon her face. Though Tomimaru kept up an air of indifference, his stare remained fixed intently on her.
青崎、そういうの作って楽しい？
楽しいわけないでしょ。こんなの作ったところであんまり使う機会なんてないんだから。
そうか。ならいい。
Whether or not he was convinced, Tobimaru stood up from his chair with a disappointed expression. He's like, well, I'm just gonna excuse myself.
最後まで読めばわかるだろうが、あんまり確証は取れなかったぜ。というより、おとといあの辺りにいた生徒はいないって話になりそうだ。まあ断定はできないけどな。
No longer concerned over his task, Tobimaru headed toward the door, as if to say it was out of his hands.
と、そうだ。
Oh, one more thing?
そういえば、一人だけ該当しなかったやつがいる。季節外れの転入生までは、青崎も調べきれなかったみてえじゃねえか。
Let me guess. Is it Soujuro? Aoko raised her head ever so slightly. He was right. The recent transfer student was not included within the scope of her investigation. Honestly, I thought there were some sort of suspicions to it. There's no way they would stay up until midnight just to go out on a walk. What the hell are they on about? What are they going to stay up on around? What are they going to do if they're around midnight? They can't sleep. They just got to go to a convenience store if they're hungry. I mean, that could be a possibility, I guess. I don't know.
そんなわけで、その字に関しては調べてないぜ。まあ、あいつならいつだろうと遅くまでバイトだろうが。いや、人殺しを見たなんてこと口走ってるようじゃ、家で悪い夢でも見てたのかもしれねえか。
I mean, is that not surprising? Like, he's the guy who would have a part-time job late at night. Tobimaru cheerfully left the student council room. Yeah, cheerfully. Oh boy. He's like, at least I helped you. Simultaneously, Aoko felt her fingers go numb, and the documents she was holding spilled all over the table.
そんな、まさかね。
She broke out into a cold sweat and tried to tell herself that there must be some kind of mistake. However, the uncomfortable feeling in her gut would simply not go away. Perhaps because her intuition was almost always right at times like these.
バカらしい。
And yet, she knew what she had to do. She would not have hesitated to kill Tomimaru if he had been the witness. No, that's a little bit of reaching in the uncanny valley, isn't it? What if it was who she was thinking of? Just considering the possibility caused her blood to run cold. Aoka put her forehead in her hands and began to brood. And then, suddenly, let us talk choice. You will always be faced with choices. A virtuous fool and a wicked sage. You cannot save both. You must pick one. That is the freedom granted to you. Oh, that's a nice little backdrop. Yeah. 2 years earlier, Aoko muttered the words offered by her grandfather the day she replaced her elder sister as his successor, and let out a sigh of lament. Oh yeah, there's that too.
すごくバカみたい。
Baka mitai. She laughed at her own intuition. But it was no joke, if only those words had never been said. Aoko locked up the student council room and left for the day. Calmly, as though nothing untoward had happened, she greeted the students as they passed her in the halls. She was almost shocked by how natural she seemed. Yeah, normally she's... that's strange. Normally she's she's too serious to be natural. There were still plenty of students at the school. The grounds were noisy with the chattering of students who had finished the day but had yet to head home. Others still had club activities. The gray sky looked ready to pour, but nobody seemed to pay it any mind. Amidst the clamor, Aoko hastened to the school gate. She passed by some students in animated conversation. They seemed to be talking about their after-school plans. Apparently, they were adamant about maximizing their free time. She could not figure out how they could possibly be so irresponsibly focused on fun, but at the same time was in no mood to make fun of or feel envious of them. 2 short years prior, she had been just like them.
根は冷めてるのかな、私って。
Maybe. She retied her scarf, this time more tightly, to give off an air of solitude, but she was fooling no one. After all, what people who feign solitude are really masking is rejection.
そうよね。孤独っていうのはああいうのを言うもんでしょうし。
The area by the school gate was busier than usual. A group of boys appeared to be huddled behind it. Oh boy. Their transparent attempt to be discreet in terms of both location and loudness of voices did nothing to hide the fact that they were noisily arguing about a girl standing alone on the other side of the street. Is that the scene that I remember? No. I'm pretty sure I got spoiled a bit on this part of the scene right here, but... The girl was cloaked in a black cape. Yeah, why is she standing? Why is Alice waiting in front of the school? She coming to pick up Aoko all of a sudden? At first glance, it could have been mistaken for normal attire, but those from Misaki could tell that she wore the uniform of a prestigious girls' school. That school had no connection to Misaki High in any way, shape, or form. The two schools were miles apart, both physically and spiritually. A member of that school's student body was a rare sighting, as the majority were forced to live in the school dorm. Rian Girls Academy had a reputation as a school for princesses, and it was rare indeed for one to be slumming with the common folk. That alone would have been enough to cause the ruckus among the boys, but this girl looked the epitome of class. One could not help but describe the standing figure as charming. The way she silently, motionlessly waited was reminiscent of a meticulously composed portrait. Aoko took one look at her before instantly recalling that one word. Solitude.
まったくうちの男子どもは家に帰りもせず陰でこそこそやってるのはそういうこと。
Probably not. I mean, some students have a thing for loitering, unless it's club-related activities. Disgusted, Aoko barged through the gate. At this point, she would normally head home, but today she crossed the street toward the waiting girl.
あれなるは生徒会長様。くそ、追っ払う気なのかよ。痛いんならいつまでだっていさせてあげればいいじゃんか。てか怒られるのあの天使。よその生徒でも校門前にいるぐらいなら別に問題はないと思うけど。青子女子は容赦ねえからな。下手すると平手だぜ、平手。
I bet everyone is like, damn, I can relate to her. The boys ran their mouths behind her back. Not in the mood to shut them up, Aoko walked right up to the girl and offered an informal wave.
どうしたのアリス。こんなところに来たって何も面白いことはないって言ったのに。
ありえねえ。
Aoko heard the boys by the gate lose their collective minds and did her best to ignore them.
あのことを確かめに。青子。あの人たち邪魔なんだけど。
No shit!
分かってる。今追っ払うから。
I mean, obviously she would smack them the fuck down. In contrast to Alice's small voice, Aoko spoke loud and clear. Naturally, this was on purpose, so as to deal with the riffraff by the gates all at once.
会長こっち来んぞ。
Hey, that's your fucking fault.
おい押すなよ。後ろのやつどけって。俺校舎に逃げるから。いやでもあの子会長と知り合いなんでしょ。うまく会長に紹介してもらうとか。さすが一年坊主。まだ戦場の現実ってもんを理解していねえ。よし、死の間際までいい夢見ろよ。
Don't let dreams be dreams. Motherfucker, are you trying to be like Shia LaBeouf? This motherfucker trying to act like Shia LaBeouf. Don't let dreams be dreams, just do it. It's your... the fuck are you on about? Perhaps because too many of them had gathered in one place, the mob entered a frenzied panic as they tried to escape. Aoko addressed them all.
さーて、部活動があるわけでもなし、ただ家に帰るだけの帰宅部の皆さん、こんなところで何を集まってるのか教えてくれる？
The student council president stared daggers at the boys.
何しろ試験前だもの。身になることなら私も教えてほしいけど、 まさかガン首並べて女学院のお嬢様を眺めてただけなんてことはないわよね。声をかける勇気もなくて眺めてただけなんてことは。
Not one of them was brave enough to admit that this hit the nail on the head. If any of them had such courage, they would have already been chatting the young lady up. Chirpers.
いや、僕教室にちょっと忘れ物が。こんなオチならダメ元で玉砕しとくんだった。天文部に行って双眼鏡借りるのどうだ。屋上からお顔を賜るとか。天文部にそんなのねえよ。あるとしたら野鳥同好会じゃね。
それ先月会長が潰したじゃん。鳥めでてる暇があるなら彼女作れって。
Damn. She really does have a strict policy against perversions. I blame Nasu for this. I think Nasu made like 80 to 90% of the fucking dudes in this visual novel act like weirdos.
ああ、彼女作れですか。
I mean, we already had a weird ass fucking teacher.
今日は裏口から帰るっす、ザキさん。くそ、じゃあな会長、また明日。
And with those oh so charming remarks, the boys scattered with their tails between their legs.
楽しそうね、青子。
You sure are enjoying yourself, Alice said.
あ、わかる？
Yeah, how do you know? Look at that look on her face. I swear, this is the same scarf, like the color pattern that I have at home. Although it's a really old scarf, so unfortunately, I don't know where it is. Probably probably that scarf like disappeared to Goodwill or something. Aoko's response slipped out all too easily. In truth, there were not that many bad apples in Misaki High, and dealing with them wasn't really that bad. You think? Yeah, you think?
で、ここまで出向くってことは何か分かったの？
I love it how she makes that face.
結界に残っていた気配の識別は、あとはここで確かめればいいだけよ。
Wow, finally, progress. Progress after the last week parts.
そう。アリス、いつからここに？
下校時刻から。
So she had been here for roughly an hour. Standing in the same place for an hour would be taxing for someone as sensitive to the cold as Alice.
悪いわね、無理させて。
別に好きでやってることだから。
She's just doing it because she doesn't care. I mean, if you look at Alice, she's dressed more winter attire compared to what Aoko is wearing. As she spoke, her black eyes were fixed upon the gate and the students passing through it. She had likely been observing the gate in this manner for the past hour.
私を待ってたわけじゃないんでしょ？今からでも付き合うわ。
Alice nodded in assent. If Alice was still here, it meant she had not found the witness yet. If she had found the student, Alice would have already gone home ahead of Aoko and began to research the student's background.
私の方はダメだった。
She reported the results of Tobemaru's investigation. Alice remained silent. With that, the conversation ended, leaving the two to silently endure the freezing wind. The silent stakeout dragged on endlessly. Students continued to pass the gate, each shocked at the sight of the unusual combo, and head home. After 20 minutes, Aoko let a sigh escape her mouth, perhaps from boredom, perhaps from the cold, or perhaps from both. Why not both? Well,
ねえアリス、帰り黎明に寄ってかない？
Dawn. Is Dawn the cafe? Aoko quickly turned to Alice to catch her reaction. Dawn was the name of one of Aoko's favorite coffee shops. No, okay, that's what I figured. It's a place. Coffee shop and whatnot. Offering no clear indication as to whether she was critical of Aoko's blase or whatever you call attitude or agreeing to her whims. Alice's gaze shifted ever so slightly. Aoko followed her stare.
俺、青崎も待ち合わせか？
Oh no, is this Soujuro? The sudden voice took her off guard. There was only one person who spoke with this gentle, good-natured tone.
そう。やっぱそうなるわけか。
They have their suspicions. Turning her back to Alice, Aoko moved her focus to the newly appeared student.
それで、今日は何の用？
All politeness flew out the window. Already in the bad mood, Aoko's mood plummeted the longer she looked at Soujuro. That's already petty enough as is. The subtlety of her expression, however, was lost on him.
いや、これから駅前で水泳部の部長と待ち合わせなんだけど、そのことでお礼を言っておきたくて。
ん？
Well, that was completely unexpected. Thanks. Joining a club. Aoko had a hunch that he was about to say something brainless.
ふーん。お礼ってお礼参りってこと？
Payback. Is stream disconnected again? Oh boy. Well, that's going to be lovely. Fortunately, Soujuro was completely unaware of the more sinister implications to the word payback.
よくわからないけど、そんな大したことじゃないよ。ただ、水泳部は夏までそう忙しくないって話だったから。
Soujuro was just about to thank her for recommending a club that would not take up much of his time when Aoko cut him off with an expression of disinterest.
当然でしょ。幽霊部員になりそうな生徒なんて紹介できないから。忙しいあなたでも務まりそうな場所があったから口に出しただけよ。
Well, yeah, because he has to be a working man of society, I guess. I don't freaking know. I don't know how that even goes, really.
なるほど、無駄がないね。
Naruhodo, as he said. His open admiration for her sapped Aoko's will to fight. Finding a suitable club and negotiation with its captain hadn't been an efficient use of her time at all.
とにかくお世話になったから、それで礼を言っときたくて。
Thanks for what? Soujuro gratefully dipped his head, but not before the flustered Aoko stopped him.
よしてよ。今あなたにそんなことされても迷惑だから。
I mean, when do you ever have headaches? You always talk about having headaches all the time.
それで、水泳部はどう？ やっていけそう？
All right. I think Soujuro did mention that he's not good at swimming. So maybe that's why he could be like, he could get some practice by joining a club. And awkwardness infiltrated her previously sharp gaze. Soujuro was able to pick up on the odd change in her behavior, but could not divine its reason. So he simply started with what he knew so far and reported the most recent information he had.
ああ、水泳部はクビになった。
How in the fuck?
なんでよ
She's like, what? Aoko instantly shouted at the Aoko instinctively shouted at the unexpected response. Oh my god, that look on her face. I think there's a lot of thumbnail things to do. Like a human Jack in a Box. Oh boy, I love going to the fast food Jack in a Box. But, oh god. Okay. I think that's enough of that. This unexpected development threw her mind in the tizzy, and she momentarily forgot the complicated feelings she had been wrestling with.
だって今から待ち合わせだって。
Yeah, what makes you say that?
それはこれからヤシロギの温水プールに連れて行ってくれるからだよ。
Soujuro stated this very matter-of-factly to the still reeling Aoko.
話がつながらない。そこまでうまくいってるのに、どうして入部を拒否されるのよ、あんたは。
Wait, they kicked you out. Why the fuck is the captain taking you to a...
そりゃ俺が泳げないからだろ。
Oh, I thought you were gonna get some practice. Aoko reached up with her fingers and pinched the bridge of her nose as she processed his answer.
しずきくん、昨日の私の質問は覚えてる？走るのか泳ぐのか、どっちがいいかってやつ。私の記憶は正しいけど、一応確認しておくわね。あなた、確かに泳ぐ方だって言ったけど。
ああ、昔から泳げないのはなんとか克服したかったんだ。反対に走る方は得意だけど。
Wait, then why are you saying you can't swim? You already exceeded your Oh, whatever. I thought you're already good at running, so you thought you're gonna join the fucking track team. Her energy spent. Aoko finally understood.
俺が1年なら1から鍛えてくれたらしいんだけど。あと3ヶ月で3年になる身分なのに、金槌の部員は雇えないそうだ。けど部長が親身になってくれて、これから泳ぎを教えてくれることになったんだよ。
Shocker. They kicked you out of the club, but yet the captain wants to like teach you how to swim. Soujuro's words were spoken from a place of joy, a fact that failed to reach Aoko.
つまり欠陥品を売りつけたってわけか。こりゃ水泳部の部長に合わす顔がないと。ちょっと待った。しずきくん、水泳部の部長って。
Who? She stopped herself short of a girl, quote unquote. She was afraid of how that might look, that she might not be able to rein herself in if she started.
もういいわ。気持ちは分かったから、どこか遠くにいてくれない？少し疲れてて、 とてもじゃないけどあなたの相手はしていられないの。
Oh yeah, she's already annoyed. I mean, when is she ever annoyed?
飛び丸もそんなことを言ってたな。青崎は昨日と今日珍しく疲れてるって。何かあったのか？
Yeah, what did happen? What did happen?
ちょっとね。でもいいの。解決したみたいだから。
It sounds like cope to me.
それより、しずきくんはどう見える？私、そんなに疲れて見えるのかな？
Maybe. I mean, I guess you're trying to like. I guess you're just one of those people that's just used to masking it. Apparently. Why has she asked him this? Blurting out things for no reason and on impulse. This was not usual for Aoko. Perhaps it was because she realized that this would be their last chance to have a normal conversation. Hello there. We'll randomly stop by if you get internet. Yeah, you know what's weird? It says I've been streaming for 9 minutes, but on OBS, I've been streaming for 44 minutes. Oh, you're on a holiday. Okay. I was wondering why it didn't show up. Yeah, I was like, I think I got disconnected again for some reason, but oh well. I don't think there was anything I don't think there was anything special yesterday. Although I crashed out in Minecraft. What do you mean question mark? My fucking stream decides to be like F off or something. This is not the first time this has been happening to me. After a few moments of contemplation, Soujuro conjured up a grin that cut straight through the tension. Did I already... Did stream crash or is your internet? Probably my stream. I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
そうだな。疲れているというより生き生きしているように見える。仕方なく畑を耕していた狼が久しぶりに狩りに出ることになって機嫌を上げている感じだ。
I mean, listen, if I can browse through... This is weird. If I can browse through the Brave browser just fine, then how the fuck is my OBS kept crashing? Like, it makes no sense. I don't know. I tweaked around OBS a bit. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it randomly disconnects in the next hour or so. You seem so cheerful. Like he was so happy for her. Without thinking, Aoko's hands went to her cheeks. If what he said were true, then she was grinning from ear to ear. There was just no way she would have made such a mistake.
とにかくありがとう。じゃあ、また明日。
Oh, great. Well, stream disconnected. Already. This is so irritating. Perhaps still not comfortable enough to wave to her. He said his goodbye with sincerity in his voice and smile, and took his leave. God, I just don't understand why OBS loves to disconnect me out of nowhere. Like my internet connection is already fine as is. Unless my laptop is already shitting itself to begin with, then I don't have no issue with what is going on. He took his leave.
待って、
Yeah, you
こん
do
な
do
話が
that.
あるの。聞いてから言って。
Aoko called out after him. Her voice was cold as she admonished herself for having been somewhat affable earlier.
Hmm?
What?
意味のない例え話よ。
Hypothetical. Let's say, hypothetically.
そうね。あなたが空腹で死にそうな時、目の前に同じように空腹で死にそうな2匹の動物がいるとするわ。しずきくんに銃をあげる。それでどちらかの動物を撃って。右はライオンで、左は子猫。選ぶ
Oh,
のはあなたの自由だから。
oh, she's giving her. Well, what am I doing? I'm being sleepy as hell. She is giving him the obvious moral question. It was a fable-like moral dilemma, especially the way in which it was cruel and rather preachy. The kind that if you thought too hard about, you would never find an answer. Soujuro answered quickly and calmly.
いや、撃たないと思うよ。だって自分の好きにしていいんだろ。それにほら、空腹ならお互い様だ。
I see. So you rather not take down the animals, you rather find an alternative situation. I mean, alternative plan. Why did I say situation? I usually mix those two up whenever I'm sleepy. He was not in the least fazed by the dilemma. He gave the most innocent response. So innocent, in fact, that it would give anyone pause.
長生きするわ、あなた。
すごいセリフだな。そんなことを言われたのは多分君が初めてだ。
I can't tell if that is a compliment, but fair. Adorning his face was a smile wholly out of sync with his comment.
何よそれ。
She regretted stopping him. If only she had just watched him go, this conversation would have never happened. Soujuro Suzuki made his way down the sloped street. Today, just like every day, he probably had to work late again. Only Aoko and Alice remained, with Alice doing what she could to simply blend in.
つくづくこっちのペースを乱してくれるわね。あのちんちく無害な田舎者は。
Aoko clenched her right fist tightly as she cursed out loud. Anything to prevent herself from screaming at the top of her lungs. Whether that scream would be directed toward Soujuro or toward herself was another matter entirely.
青子。
Aoko heard Alice's soft voice behind her. Aoko knew what she was going to say, as she had known for the entire time. Ever since Alice, having shown no reaction to any of the other students, changing her expression upon seeing Soujuro. Changed her expression upon seeing Soujuro.
言わなくてもいい。あいつでしょ、目撃者は。
Her voice was cold as ice. It was the voice of someone talking about a complete stranger. The lion and the kitten. There were pros and cons to choosing either of these animals, the point being that she had asked him to choose one of them. In terms of risk, the lion was the more dangerous. The lion was the more dangerous choice. The instant the gun was pointed at it, there was the chance it would fight back. Those who chose the lion required more courage, but any sense of guilt that came with holding a gun would be forgotten. Lions were fierce creatures. A poor excuse to shoot an animal, perhaps, but one that certainly helped alleviate the guilt. But what about the kitten, the weaker creature? It goes without saying that the kitten would be the easier target of the two, but choosing it would be a disquieting decision for anyone. Even if the kitten had no chance to survive, it was still too senseless to carry out. And to Aoko, Soujuro was that choice.
てっきり私もそうだと思ってた。
You think so? When she had felt that sinking feeling in the student council room, she ignored it. There was no getting around what must be done, she told herself. Until, that is, Soujuro went and said what he did, causing her resolve to waver. But the discomfort in her chest did not stem from any guilt she may have felt. She could care less for Soujuro. He was weak and would be incredibly easy to deal with. Yet for some reason she could not dispel her reservations. A transfer student who moved to the city from the middle of nowhere with no family to speak of, few would notice if he were to suddenly disappear compared to a person of some renown. If she were to kill him, it would be as simple as wringing a cat's neck. And it all served to just piss her off. It was too lucky. Like everything was neatly handed to her. She wanted to just drop kick it right into orbit.
信じられない。私嫌がってる。これは違う。こんなの私じゃない。
Good question. Standing behind her, Alice heard all of the muttering. Nevertheless, she seemed to ignore it and said,
彼、首に布を巻いていたわね。
That took you long enough to realize that? No, wait a minute. It's been over several parts, right? How come no character, not even one character as far as I remember, asked what happened to his neck? Could be some possible accident, or maybe he's born with something. Like a wholly unrelated topic. Aoko returned to her senses.
首？
ええ、水泳部の首とかけていたのかしら。
Alice had put much thought into this, as if it had a deeper meaning to her somehow. Gee, finally, at least Alice is the putting something into progress, apparently.
そういえば、あいつ初めて会った時も首に布巻いてたっけ？襟を行儀よく締めてるから目立たないけど。
The conversation turned to idle nonsense. Idle chirping. And though it solved none of her current problems, it did help calm Aoko's frazzled nerves. Yeah, I know, right? That is something, I guess. All right, my YouTube stream got disconnected too. Maybe I guess I can just move it to the other thing. All that in.
サンキュー。落ち着いたわ、アリス。
So that's
それと、気合も入った。
oh, there you go. Just like that.
善は急げ。あいつが言いふらす前に決着をつけよう。
Oh, you two gonna go after Soujuro this time? Pumped once more, Aoko turned her back to the school gate. For now, they would retire to the mansion and prepare for battle. I don't know how this is gonna turn out.
いいけど、いつどこで彼を殺すの？
Oh no. Not like this. She said quietly so as not to be overheard by anyone else. Normally, Aoko had to reign in that side of Alice, out in the open as they were, but this was far from a normal situation.
今日の夜、場所はとっておきの夢の国よ。
Oh god. She gave a fearless laugh. A strangely pleasant sound, like the kind one would make when meeting their lover. What the fuck? Oh, that's she. The look on her face is like she's like, I know a plan. What we can do to him. What? Oh god. Okay. Fucking. I wonder. I always get these like chat bots. Is there a way to like put like a certain like amount of time notion? Whatever. I'll figure that out later. Yeah, I think 52 minutes in. I gotta go for a coffee break, so I'll be right back.